Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Welcome to the soul of Sunday. We are Unitarian Universalists. Ours is an historic faith with a progressive theology. We affirm the worth and dignity of every being and that we are all deeply interconnected. We are bound to one another not by creed, but by covenant. And we are called to answer the call of love with open minds, open hearts, and open hands. Whoever you are, those of all nations, all creeds, all colors, all kinds of love, you are welcome here. Dear ones, happy Sunday. I miss you, and I'm so grateful we can be here together while apart. After Mark, David, and Julie sing Ben Harper's affirmation that there will be a light, our own Reverend Joanna Lubkin will light the chalice, symbol of our free faith in honor of Yom Kippur. Also known as the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur is the holiest day of the year in Judaism. To our beloved Jewish members and friends, Gamar Tov. Once again, thanks to our extraordinary tech team for making this service possible. If you haven't already downloaded today's order of service, it's available in the chat and on the homepage at ascboston.org. All of the hymn lyrics are included in the order of service and will be posted in the chat so we can sing together. There's also a link to Sermon Bingo on the homepage. Feel free to play along while I preach. For now, please say hello in the chat as we continue our virtual greetings. Let's engage that Arlington Street spirit of welcome that transcends physical distance as we greet one another heart to heart.
3, 4. There will be a light. 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 Let the warmth of our love dry away all of your tears. Fear not, for we are with you. We will fear not, with you here. There will be a light. There will be a light. There will be a
We light this chalice on the eve of Yom Kippur, the Jewish Day of Atonement, which begins tonight at sundown. May its flame call us to search our souls, sifting through the past year to see where we may have missed the mark. May its light guide us toward the courageous and open-hearted apology, toward repair of the relationships in our lives. May its heat warm our hearts to offer forgiveness to those who have wronged us, allowing us to release the chains of grudge and blame that have bound us to them. And may its strength help us take the actions that are within our power to make this year more just, more loving, and more peaceful for all our communities and for all of humanity. And let us say, Amen.
Gather the Spirit, harvest the power. Our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials in this life appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon, fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, our chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
It is now time for our treasured ritual of sharing community candles of sorrow and joy. These candles were submitted on our website by the Friday evening deadline. If you didn't submit your candle and have a joy or sorrow to share this morning, please wait until the third candle is lit, the silent candle, and then type your joy or sorrow in the chat. In addition to sharing our sorrows and joys this morning, let's reach out to one another in the week ahead, staying connected. May these times remind us of how very precious this beloved community is. We need one another. Despite having to be apart, may we stay very close. And now, in the spirit of invocation, let's join in singing Sanctuary. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today with heavy hearts. We open our hearts to you.
Our first candle of sorrow is from Erica Rose Long. On Thursday, it was announced that one of our most transformative and beloved Unitarian Universalists of our time, Alandria Williams, has died. Alandria grew up in the Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Community Church, where Alandria was a Sunday school teacher and youth group leader. Alandria went on to be a community organizer and a denominational leader, most recently serving as the co-moderator to the Unitarian Universalist Association. May all of Alandria's comrades, mentees, friends, and family be comforted in this time. May we commit to honor Alandria's legacy by continuing the work to which Alandria lovingly dedicated their life. A candle of sorrow from Queen Cheryl. After having spent a month in the hospital, my sister Kizzy has relapsed. It's painful to watch someone you love self-destructing before your eyes and not be able to do a thing about it. Please keep Kizzy in your prayers. Our final candle of sorrow today is from the Arlington Street community. We mourn the death of Massachusetts Supreme Court Chief Justice Ralph D. Gantz. Chief Justice Gantz was the first Jewish Chief Justice in the court's 328-year history and a fearless advocate for racial justice. Suffolk District Attorney Rachel Rollins said, Chief Justice Gantz was more than a skilled and thoughtful jurist. He was a deeply compassionate and wonderful person who dedicated his career to serving the community, every member of the community, through his work to create a more equitable legal system.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary for you.
Let's come today in joy. We share your joy.
Our first candle of joy is a mixed one from Don Richter. Phyllis Richter would have been 95 years old yesterday on the 26th. Our sons David and Paul joined me at Sunrise Senior Living in Arlington Heights to honor and remember her and to plan ahead. It was a joy to be together separately, wearing masks out of doors and keeping our distance. And our final candle of joy is from Mikey Patterson, sending hugs, love, and a special hello to all of you. I just want to send some sunshine, smiles, and joy your way from Tucson. Thank you so much for all that you are.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary for you. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary for you.
For all the sorrows and all the joys we hold in our hearts, we light a silent candle to remember and to rejoice. May the peace of this sanctuary enter into our hearts as we share a quiet moment together, breathing our prayers for ourselves, for one another, for our country, and for the world. Amen.
Let's join now in saying together the affirmation and covenant of this beloved spiritual community. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths in love, and to help one another.
El amor es el espíritu de nuestra congregación y el servicio es nuestro regalo. Esto es a lo que nos comprometemos, convivir en paz, hablar nuestras verdades con amor y ayudarnos los unos a los otros.
Morning again, everyone. Our next hymn is Wo Ya Ya. We Are Going is the loose translation of what those words mean. And the lyrics start, we are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. And we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. I think that's something a lot of us feel right now. I hope you'll sing with us. Come on. We are going. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 We are going. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Oh yeah,
Never let a crisis go to waste. No one seems to know who said it first. Some say Sir Winston Churchill said it, probably in the mid-1940s, but there's no proof. Many of us heard it from former mayor of Chicago and President Obama's chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel. He said it in 2008 as the country was reeling from the near collapse of the financial system. Actually, he said, "You never want to let a serious crisis go to waste." These days, I'm not sure about the difference between a crisis and a serious crisis, but the point is, Rahm Emanuel continued, that a crisis provides the opportunity to do things that were not possible before. Many of us have heard that the Chinese ideogram for crisis is comprised of two characters, danger and opportunity. Actually, the first character does mean dangerous or precarious, but the second character actually means something more like change point. Crisis means that we're at a precarious change point, a tipping point, and that the opportunity for change is at hand. And so the question, what does it mean not to let a crisis go to waste? Somehow, crisis always seems to take us by surprise. Buddhist teacher John Tarrant writes, "A surprise is a landscape feature that was not on the map." Surprises are common and an indication that we are alive. The mind assigns values to events, saying this is good, this is bad, but the values we give things are usually just arm waving and scrambling about. The world is truly unpredictable in its consequences, and our reactions to events are also unpredictable. We can make an ally of surprise. The hard bits of life might not be the ones we're dreading. The good bits might be the ones that are also always available, a slant of light through the garden and then the rain. Running inside to get dry, cooking for friends, the sound of a bird in the early morning when we can't get back to sleep. That act of impulsively giving something away when we have almost nothing. A student asks, when times of great difficulty visit us, how should we greet them? The teacher responds, welcome. This, being human, is a guest house, writes Rumi. Across 7 centuries, the Persian mystic and poet speaks to us. This, being human, is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. They may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Speaking of a crowd of sorrows, surprises, and not letting a crisis go to waste, John Tarrant says, when I had cancer, I thought it might be inconvenient or frightening, but it was interesting. It made me a lot less lazy about being present. There was a time when diagnosis, course of treatment, and outcome were all uncertain, and in that condition, my mind reached for certainty over and over again. That quest for certainty, being hopeless, brought pain. But when my mind stopped reaching out and fell back into the warm dark of uncertainty, time stretched out infinitely on either side, and there was a pool of joy that seemed bottomless. Having cancer was much more exciting than sitting in an armchair watching the game on Sunday. And everything I looked at had the aspect of tenderness and delicacy. I looked into the checkout clerk's eyes and saw the universe looking back. Never let a crisis go to waste. I heard another beautiful teaching recently, just this simple sentence. If you are in a predicament, there will be a gate. This is the deep assurance that there is a way out, and the only way out is through. And here is that affirmation to carry on. If you are in a predicament, there will be a gate. Find it. Go through it. As a society, we are in crisis. The pandemic has lifted up and amplified everything that was already broken. Albert B. Kelly, mayor of Bridgeton, New Jersey, wrote a beautiful editorial in which he enumerated the damage and the costs. Beyond the work of the virus and stopping the virus, there is a crisis of inequality. When we're forced to acknowledge that essential workers are risking their lives on the front line for nothing approaching combat pay, will we address glaring inequality with better pay, benefits, and childcare? There is a crisis of jobs, The pandemic just sped up their disappearance. Will we get serious about supporting a universal basic income? There's a crisis of education. Democracy is predicated on an educated electorate. As learning is forced out of the classroom and onto the internet, the pandemic has opened a yawning chasm between the digital haves and the digital have-nots. Will we raise our voices and open our wallets to invest in universal access to the World Wide Web? And first and last, there is a crisis of racism and policing. Will white people look hard and long at the ways Black and brown bodies have been criminalized? Will we muster the will to exchange the warrior template of policing for the public servant model? Given that the response to crisis is the responsibility of both the government and the governed, each of us is called, both individually and collectively, to help move this society toward justice and peace. Where to begin? Find the gate. Go through it. I want to close with a story about finding the gate that continues to inspire me. I came to it via Sissy Castrogiovanni, the Boston-based Sicilian jazz singer who's performed for Agora here at Arlington Street Church and for our Wednesday Ministers' Tea. This story is about Sissy's friend and Berklee College of Music classmate, Gabriella Martina, a Swiss singer, also based in Boston. In early March, boxes of freshly pressed CDs and vinyl records were delivered to Gabriella, her latest album, Homage to Gromley. The culmination of 2 years of production, the album is a tribute to her childhood home near Luzerne in the Swiss Alps, where her parents raised cows and grew organic vegetables for 45 years. Gabriella describes it as paradise. On the album, Gabriella combines her love of American jazz with Swiss folk traditions, mixing in cowbells, accordion, and yodeling. She and 6 bandmates were booked to leave on March 10th for a 9-concert tour in Europe. On March 9th, COVID-19 canceled the tour. Gabriella lost $30,000. as well as all the gigs she had booked in 2020. Undaunted, she began to cook. And very quickly, she mounted a new mission, which she calls Dinner with My Neighbor. So it's very simple. She explains, I cook, and I invite somebody who would like to eat with me. Then they come and pick it up, and as soon as they're home, they text me. And then we Zoom or FaceTime with each other. As she cooks, she makes videos, and then she posts them online, inviting donations. While she's collecting unemployment, she hopes to help make up some of her bandmates' lost income with those contributions. One of her first meals was with Sissy Castrogiovanni, her husband, Peruvian percussionist Jorge Perez Abela, and their son Manuel. What is this? Sissy asked Gabriella. It was smelling so good, I was in the car trying to guess. Gabriella has made a dish called serrosti from her region of the Alps, a plate-sized hash brown with a thin slice of ham, cheese, and a fried egg. Jorge finds it delicious. By May, Gabriella has tried more than 70 recipes on meals for friends, students, and colleagues, everything from traditional Swiss dishes to pasta with fresh pesto to sushi, serving more than 100 guests from 23 countries. She compares improvising with ingredients to what she does in her real life as a jazz musician. Eating together, like making music, is a social ritual. Gabrielle is especially attentive to inviting guests who are living alone to join her for dinner, explaining that now more than ever, it's critical to nurture human connections. As much as it is cooking for somebody, she says, it's also just really being there for somebody. Yes, we cannot hug somebody. We cannot hug each other, but let's stay connected. It's just caring and sending a little bit of kindness into the world. Gabriela Martina hopes dinner with my neighbor inspires all of us to eat and visit together while apart. Beloved spiritual companions, never let a crisis go to waste. When times of great difficulty visit us, say welcome. They may be clearing us out for some new delight. If you are in a predicament, there will be a gate. Find it. Go through it. Let's find it and go through it together while apart. And let us go with kindness and make justice and peace in the world. Amen.
One, two. Ooh, ooh, ooh. The warmth of the fire is calling us to it. Our passion for living is coming through. One by one, we'll all feel it in time. One by one, we'll all feel it in time. Ooh, ooh. They're cooking up fear in the kitchen. We're serving up a different stew. Sincerely sipping love's magical brew. One by one, we'll all sip it in time. One by one, we'll all sip it in time. And I'm going through that gate, you're coming with me. I'm going through that gate, you're coming with me. I'm going through that gate, you're coming with me. We're all going home. We're all going home. Ooh, ooh. We got fire in our water and plastic in our food. I'm gonna say it, but I won't put the blame on you. One by one, we'll all know it in time. One by one, we'll all know it in time. We are healers, inspired, lovers of what's true, reclaiming our lives and the work we're here to do. One by one, we'll all claim it in time. One by one, we'll all claim it in time. And I'm going through that gate, you're coming with me. I'm going through that gate, you're coming with me. I'm going through that gate, you're coming with me. We're all going home. We're all going home. Ooh, 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 ooh. So grab grab your neighbor by the hand, let's go outside. Maybe fear here, maybe grief here, but that's no reason to hide. I'm going through that gate, you're coming with me. I'm going through that gate, you're coming with me. I'm going through that gate, you're coming with me. We're all going home. We're all going home. We're all going home.
Friends, your generosity continues to astound everyone. We are continuing to pay our staff and maintain our building even when most of us can't be here. Many of us are talking about what our pandemic story will be. A big part of mine will be all the poetry I've been reading, and thanks to our weekly Poems to Go On gathering here in the Arlington Street Zoom room every Monday afternoon at 4, I've been in very good company. I already knew I loved poetry, but people come to our gatherings who have never met a poem they liked. They come for the community and they stay for the community and the poetry. We've discovered so many beautiful poems together over these past 6 months. You can come just to listen or bring a poem to share. Some of us have even discovered our long lost love of writing poems and have been brave enough to read them out loud. It's deeply moving. As James Baldwin said about William Shakespeare, the greatest poet in the English language found his poetry where poetry is found, in the lives of the people. He could have done this only through love, by knowing, which is not the same thing as understanding, that whatever was happening to anyone was happening to him. I hope you'll join us so your pandemic story will include poetry as well as the extraordinary community to be found here. You are always welcome. Friends, each of us has the power to make a difference, to do our part to strengthen the safety net that holds and upholds us all. Thank you for joining me with generous support for everything Arlington Street is doing to keep us strong and connected. Please take a moment now to fill our virtual collection plate. You can text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 617-300-059. Scan the QR code in the order of service or click on the yellow Donate Now button on the homepage at ascboston.org. Here's that number again, 617-300-0509. Thank you for your generosity. After you make your gift to sustain our beloved community, please continue to share in the chat what inspires you during these difficult days.
עד יום כיפורים הבא לטוב. חרת נעלם כולו יהון שרון שניקים בטלים ומבוטלים לשרירים ולקיינות נדרנה sarana sare ushvuatana la shavu.
As always, there are a lot of wonderful events happening here this week. Check out meditation, poetry, yoga, and tea time with the ministers. The prompt for tea this week is, what are your favorite stress relievers? For details, please be sure to visit our homepage at ascboston.org. A reminder that next Sunday morning is our annual Blessing of the Animals. Please send photos of your animal companions to office@ascboston.org for our slideshow. At the close of today's service, please unmute yourself for virtual coffee hour and enjoy the opportunity to visit in smaller groups in breakout rooms. Before I turn it over to Hana and Kazuhiro for our closing hymn, another thank you to all of you who joined in today's service and to all those who made it possible. Remember, we're all in this together.
Good morning, everyone. This is Hana Omori, and then this is my dad, Kazuhiro Omori. Let's sing the final hymn, You'll Never Walk Alone. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky.
For our benediction, I invite you to reach out your hands and touch the sides of your square. Touch hands with the people to your left and to your right. And send out love to the person on either side of you and to the people on either side of them. Send out love into this beloved spiritual community. And feel it coming back to you. Love is the spirit of this congregation. And now for our benediction, I invite you to put your hands over your heart in namaste. I bow to the divine in you. There will be a gate. Find it. Go through it. Together while apart, may we go with kindness and make justice and peace in the world. Let us keep this faith and pass it on. The service begins when the service ends. Bless your hearts. I love you. Amen.
Where you go? Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. Thanks, everyone. We'll listen to a postlude by Yulia, and then we'll go to breakout rooms if you stick around. Have a great day.
Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.